G'day, my name is Bailey Kirsten and I'm a fishing game officer here in the West Coast region. Today we're going to have a look at perch fishing opportunities on the West Coast. We have perch in Lake Mahanapua and its outlet, Lake Canary, and also the less known Kapatia Reservoir. Perch are an aggressive feeding fish, making them readily catchable and the perfect fish to introduce someone new to the sport. When fishing from shore, it pays to go slightly heavier than the gear used down the boat. This is allowing you to cast a lot further and cover a lot of ground. Remember to move around as the perch do school up, and around the corner could be a school that's waiting for you to go target them. Because perch like structure, targeting from the shore is very effective, especially around boat ramps, jetties, so there's no need for a boat to go out and target them. Now we've got our worm on and our float, we'll go see if we can catch ourselves a perch. So the perch will be coming into the flooded shallows here to feed on worms. Any movement on the float, we want to slowly wind up and tighten, trying to set the hook. Now tighten, set the hook, and she's all on. So we've just caught this fish using a clear little bubble, half filled with water, about a foot of line, down to a small hook and a worm. This is about the third take in a row we've just had. We've located a school, and that's the key, is find the fish, catch the fish. Perch ain't like trout in our experiences when it comes to boat disturbance. If anything, it promotes feeding. With the disturbance from the boat, moving bait fish around and getting the perch on the feed. They're not extremely fussy at all, so don't get too caught up on what you use, but what we recommend is soft baits like these that have a bit of colour and can have a hook that comes out the top. This reduces the amount of time that you are busy fighting snags and more time fighting fish. Paddle tail and the curly tail soft baits are a favourite of mine because there's so much action from them in the water. Highly recommend you try them. They like a lot of action, so don't be afraid to, when jigging it back, to give it a lot of action and a bit of pace. Quite often you'll excite the school and then that gets the bigger ones moving. So we've just been casting in around the structure here and found ourselves a school of perch. Another thing when targeting perch is it's important you find the schools, then if you focus on them you'll catch a lot more fish. Perch are very active during the period of summer when the water temperature gets over 17 degrees. So maximise your opportunities. The summer school holidays are a fantastic time to get the kids out there. Perch are known to be a fantastic table fish with their firm flesh, and there's plenty of recipes available to help you on your way. So when handling the perch, you need to be quite careful, especially if it's kids involved. The top of their fin here has a lot of sharp spikes, as well as the edge of their gill plate. If you're not too confident on handling fish, I'd recommend using a wet towel when removing hooks, protecting both you and the fish. Trawling is a very effective method of targeting perch also. It's a lot simpler too if you've got kids involved and can be just as effective, if not more productive. The key to trolling is going at a pretty slow pace so that it imitates a bait fish swimming along, and quite often when you find a school you can then zigzag back through them, catching fish all day long. Oh. Within moments. This was a fantastic sports fish to introduce new people to the sport. With such high numbers and them being very aggressive fish, it often doesn't take long to have success. So we're just trying to trawl along this edge here. There's a bit of shade, a lot of cover nearby. It's perfect perch habitat. You come out on a day like today where there's a slight breeze. If you go slightly upwind from the area that you want to fish and drift on through it, casting into shore can be very productive, as well as covering a lot of area. Again, getting as close as you can to the structure. That's where the perch will take refuge. On the cast, when it lands, the plop quite often will draw the perch out of the cover, so it pays let it sit for a couple seconds, allow it to sink, then retrieve in a jerking motion. The actual retrieval doesn't matter too much, just mix it up till you find some success. As much as the tips covered today have been focused on the west coast fisheries, they apply to all perch fisheries.